Hello, and welcome back to Autodesk Design Academy. In this video, you will gain understanding of the main tools and techniques to produce 3D models to design an F1 car from scratch. You'll learn how to assemble models to create a fully completed car. And finally, you'll learn to output a detailed engineering drawing from the model and add dimensions, detail views, and cross-sections. Let's get started. D1. Model the F1 block. In this activity, you will learn to do the following in Fusion 360. Create a project, create a design file, draw a sketch, extrude a sketch, work with dimensions, and save a model. Step 1. Create a project. Expand the data panel in the Fusion 360 interface and click the New Project button to define the dedicated repository for all the designs for your dedicated F1 in Schools project. Type in the name for the project, for example, F1 in Schools, and press Enter. After a few seconds, the project will appear in the list. Double-click the project name to view the contents. By default, it shows all the data available within the project. For now, it's empty. Close the data panel and return to the main Fusion 360 window. Step 2. Create a new design sketch. In Fusion 360, click the File button in the upper left and select New Design. Before you can save your design, you must start modeling in the workspace. Let's get started. Select Sketch, Rectangle, 2-point rectangle. We're going to be sketching on the right plane, and we want to start our rectangle from the origin. Begin by clicking on the origin and dragging outward. In the boxes, type in 223 for the width and 50 for the height. When you finish entering your dimensions, press Return. Click Stop Sketch. You can now use the Shift key and hold down the middle mouse button, 2 fingers on the Mac trackpad to rotate the view. Alternatively, you can use the View cube and set the orientation you need. The house icon fits the model in the window. You will now see the shape you have created is 2-dimensional. Now you need to make it a solid, or 3-dimensional. From the Create drop-down menu, select Extrude. Select the sketch profile you have just made. In the window, type in 32.5 millimeters. Select the direction to be symmetric, make sure the operation says New Body, and click OK. This will create a block that has a plane running through the center of it. This will be useful later on when you need things to be the same on both sides of your car. Save your design by clicking the Save icon in the upper left. Enter a name like F1 in Schools block. Select which Autodesk 360 project you want to save it in, and then click Save. Step 3. Create features in the block. Now you're going to produce the hole in the end of the block that houses the CO2 cartridge during racing. Select Sketch, Circle, Center Diameter Circle. You will then need to select where to sketch the circle. There are different ways you can do this. Select the left plane by moving your cursor near it. Extend the Origin tab and select the YZ plane, or use the View cube to rotate your model and select the face. Your block will then spin to allow you to work on it easier. On the right side of the window, you should see the sketch palette. Make sure Options Snap is selected. This makes it easier to position things on the grid. Move your cursor up from the origin and you'll see a dashed blue line. This indicates it is the center of that face. Go about halfway up and click. Dimension the circle to be 19 millimeters. Then click Enter. You now need to position the circle accurately from the bottom of the block. Select Sketch, Sketch Dimensions, select the center of the circle and the center of the origin. Pull your dimension out to the side and enter 29 millimeters. The circle should update to its new position. Stop the sketch. Next, let's cut the hole. Select Modify, press Pull. First, you want to select your circle you just drew. You may want to orient the block so you can see it at an angle. In the Extrude window, type -52 millimeters. By putting minus, it should flick the preview arrow around and make it cut inside the block. You can also do this by dragging the blue arrow, but it isn't as accurate. Make sure the operations say cut. Click OK. You now need to model the tether line slot. This is the slot that runs underneath the car. Select the center rectangle from the sketch icon on the toolbar. Select the same face you were just working on. Start your rectangle at the origin and make it 12 millimeters tall by 6 millimeters across. Stop the sketch. Select Press Pull from the Modify pull-down and select the top part of the rectangle to extrude. You now need to cut this part all the way through the block. You could drag the blue arrow through the block, or select Cut from the operation and All under Extents. Click OK. Now let's rotate the model to check and make sure everything has worked out all right. You should also now notice there is a timeline at the bottom of the screen. This is like a history of everything you have done so far. You can double-click to edit these parts and your model will update with the changes.